Today I got 5 simple ways to take some speed off of your changeup and make it unhittable. Here's a question.
Hi, Coach Madden. My name is Nick Mathis, and I am a pitcher for my All-Stars team in my league. And what I'm wondering is what kind of pronation I need on the circle change for it to be a really good effective pitch. I hold my circle change like this. And I'm wondering if I need to have that pronation going over for it to get that downwards movement to the inside, or if I need to slow down my arm speed or just keep it the same. If you get back to me, that'd be great.
Thank you so much, Nick. That's a great question. So the 5 ways to take the speed off your changeup and make it untouchable, okay? Number 1 is going to be the grip. The grip can help you take some speed off your pitch. Now, you want to make sure that it's not too deep in your hand because then it's hard to throw. You can take a little bit more speed off of that, but you're not going to have as much control. So you kind of got to find the right position to where it's not too much in your fingertips, but it's also not too deep in your hand. Okay, for me, that's kind of like in the fingers, deep in the fingers, but not into the palm. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so it's pretty deep, but only deep in the fingers and not in the palm. So it's not here, and it's definitely not a fingertip changeup. Okay, you got to find that perfect spot. Play with it, mess around with your grip, and see which one takes the most speed off with the best control. Okay, obviously you're going to have a radar gun to work on that. I use the Pocket Radar. It's pretty cheap. I'll leave a link down below where you can get that. But for the most part, you just got to play with it and find the one that feels the best and gives you that biggest change of speed when you're throwing it. Number 2, the second way to take off some speed on your changeup is going to be your wrist angle or pronation. You guys hear me talk about pronation a lot, and pronation is just your wrist angle at release point. Pronation means turning your arm this way, okay? Now on a changeup, we want to pronate a lot more than we would on our other pitches. This pitch, the changeup, is the pitch that you pronate the most on, okay? So our wrist angle at release point really wants to be turning in as we release it. So I want to release this ball like this. So see how my arm is turned and my hand is turned? And I'm actually releasing this ball off of these 2 fingers. Let me see if I can get my hand out of the way. These 2 fingers this way. See how tilted my arm is when I'm throwing that? So I'm really turning in when I throw that pitch, okay? So that's going to help you take a lot of speed off of this pitch as well. Work on your wrist angle and your pronation on the changeup. Number 3 is arm speed, and this is a huge misconception in throwing the changeup, I believe, because you hear coaches say, don't change your arm speed. Throw it just like a fastball. Throw it fast. Throw it hard. And how are you supposed to throw it slower if you're throwing it faster? Of course, yes, your grip and your wrist angle are going to help with that, but you do have to slow down your arm a little bit, okay? It's kind of like what I feel like when I was throwing a good one was you kind of just like are dead through your release point. It's almost like you're just not getting that whip that you would on a fastball. It's kind of just like you're just kind of like going through the motions. You're not throwing it with the same arm speed as a fastball. Although a lot of coaches say throw it with the same arm speed as a fastball, throw it like a fastball, think fastball, throw a changeup. You don't. You got to slow down a little bit if you need to take off some more speed. Then that's one thing that you have to do. Number 4, and this is a great one. It's not talked about a lot, and you can actually kill the velocity in your changeup by killing your leg drive, okay? So if you kind of are normally, you sit into it and you drive out really good, instead of doing that when you throw your changeup, try to stay a little bit taller and not really drive off the mound as much. So kind of kill your backside, deaden your backside, and then be more arm, okay? Now still, we don't want to be whipping that arm. Like I said, you can get more speed by combining those 2 together, right? Get more speed off by combining those 2 together. Actually, all 4 of those together, you're going to take a lot of speed off of your changeup. Now, so deaden the back leg, slow down the arm a little bit, turn it in a lot, and then also have a good grip on it. And the last one, number 5, is the intent. So when you're throwing a fastball, you have the intention of really letting it fly and getting after it. When you're throwing that changeup, you have to have the opposite intention. And that's just to not really be super aggressive with it, okay? You kind of just want to be weak almost. Like the best way I can put it is when I'm going through my delivery, I'm trying to stay very similar to my fastball as far as my movement is concerned, but my intent and my explosion and my quickness is just deadened. It's just not there. I'm just kind of being weak through my delivery, and that's going to take a lot of the speed off of the ball. So I got 2 bonus tips for you for throwing the changeup. Now, although we're trying to think weak and feel weak as we're throwing that pitch or have that feeling of not having that major intent you still got to have great feel with the changeup, because the changeup is a feel pitch. You have to be able to have that feel. Think of it as if you're on the basketball court and you're shooting baskets. You have to have that touch, because you got different distances. You got a guy guarding you. You might have to shoot it quicker. Whatever it is, you have to have that touch. And that's the same thing with the changeup. You really got to find that feel, because you're changing your mechanics. You're not your mechanics and your movement, but you're changing the intensity and the way that you go about pitching versus a fastball, right? It's different than throwing a fastball. So you have to have that feel. And to throw a good changeup with that good feel, you got to work on it. You got to practice it and get that touch, get that feel, find it, feel it off the fingers. The second bonus tip is that you have to be an actor, okay? So even though we're deadening everything, deadening the back leg, working on the grip, slowing down the arm a little bit, you have to be an actor. One thing that I like from really good changeup pitchers is sometimes they'll actually grunt like they're throwing a fastball. It's like, ugh, and then that ball just comes in, ooh, dies down. So be an actor, be deceptive, try to sell it, okay? Even though you're deadening everything, you can still make it look or seem like a fastball is coming. Change your facial expression just if you were throwing a fastball, Make it look like a fastball is coming, besides the arm speed, the pronation, the back leg, and the intent.